The other day I had somebody reach out and they want to grow this accounting, bookkeeping, and tax firm, and they want to be an entrepreneur, right? Well, no matter what, they were a young person trying to understand, should they go to college or not? And boy, I tell you what, I want to unbox this a little bit. So again, my name's Rob. I own a company called Feedbackwrench. I had an accounting practice. We help small businesses with their websites. I do tons of consulting around entrepreneurship and small businesses, and sales, and how do you present value, and how do you grow, how do you do digital marketing. We do paid ads like crazy. So if you want to get your website set up, give us a call or go to feedbackwrench.com. But what I want to talk about is college a good investment in 2021? In 2021, college is kind of an interesting challenge. So I'm going to hit on about 5 different points here that highlight why I think college education might not be a great opportunity, might not be the best investment for somebody. But first, let's talk about what we do know. So here's what we do know. Stats are in that people that go to college earn much more, or on average earn more than those that don't get a college degree. Right? There's a ton of studies out there that you'll see that highlight that, and you can find those really easily. And that's what your career people in high school are going to point to. I think there's value in college. I think that the number one value in college is that someone comes and puts you into their system. They say you have to produce work on this schedule. The work needs to be great. The schedule is rigorous, and we're going to assess how you work, right? If you don't have that assessment to understand how you produced, whether it's a paper, you have to read something, create thought, present an argument or an idea, or you have to work through, and if you're a nurse, you have to actually know your biology. Whatever it is, you have to execute on time and then get graded. There's value to that no matter what. If you were to do that through an apprenticeship or whatever. But I will admit, I'll be the first to admit, even though I'm about to jump into why college is probably not a good idea for as many people as are going into it, college does lead to an overall higher income as you move forward. Like when I hire people, I'm generally looking for people who have a college education. The reason why is because I know for a fact that they can write, I know that they can produce work on time, and it's just kind of a proving ground. So there are certainly a ton of industries that's relevant. Now, on the other side, we also know, according to the AEI Institute and just the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, that since 1998, the cost of college tuition has gone up over 200%. Essentially, as we federalize the student loan program, which Barack Obama took a giant step in saying, hey, we're going to give even more help to people to afford college. So we've given fast and easy money out to people. And the lender is the United States. Like, it's backed by the government. And whenever it's backed by the government, that means that the lender really isn't on the hook for whether or not that person defaults. And so with a couple clicks of a mouse, we've had all sorts of people sign up for college loans, and a whole bunch of them go to college and finish. But a giant portion of them, last time I saw it, was like in the 50% start and don't finish. And then the biggest problem is that debt that was given out, you cannot bankrupt out of it. You can default, but you can't bankrupt out of it, right? So the result is we gave demand, the people who demand college education, we gave them fast and easy money, but the amount of education never really changed. In fact, all that happened was prices went up. So essentially what we saw, and this is why, so in the AEI Institute, type in AEI pie chart of the century. And what it does is it shows each sector, and it shows their inflation rates compared to the consumer price index. And when you analyze this thing, what you'll see is that from 98 till now, we have over a 200% increase in college tuition and college books. And I think that that's because we flooded the market with fast, easy money. And the result is that sector, along with child daycare and along with healthcare that has Medicare, Medicaid, and phony insurance money, there's runaway inflation in a couple sectors, and higher education is one of them, right? So the thing you have to contemplate is that in order for you to go to so here's point number one. So we know there's inflation, and we know that college education will lead to a higher income. But what is the higher income? Is it 20 grand a year in the early years? The other thing, so the first thing I want to highlight is because we gave fast, easy money, what we're seeing is a giant shift where most people went and got a Bachelor of Arts degree of some sort. And so many people got a normal college degree, and what they didn't do is we don't have the traditional trades movement. We do not have people and enough laborers in the trades businesses or in the trades market. So that could be electricians, plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, diesel mechanics, machinists, concrete framers, construction, flooring, anything in the trades. HVAC, that's a whole other world. Refrigerants. There are so many different trades that are basically, and I'm telling you, they're all my clients right now, these business owners. And so the first fact that I want to talk about why college is probably not the best investment in the traditional sense is that there's a ton of people with college degrees that really haven't learned anything that interesting to do for an employer. So the supply of Bachelor of Arts degree recipients is really high. The demand has pretty much stayed the same, but the supply of the trades has gone way down. People are retiring. Our new generations just aren't in the trades. So I think the first thing you have to contemplate is a better idea to contact a union or go to trade school. And I'm not even a union guy, but doggone it, go take their education and learn how to be a pipe fitter, learn how to be, whatever it is, go learn how to do that stuff. And then you'll have options. You could get into heavy machinery operating. You could get into, again, electricians, plumbers, HVAC. Go learn that industry, learn how to do that. There's so much work. If you learn how to frame right now or do anything in construction, man, there's so much work. So that's the first thing, is you just have to look at the simple supply and demand of the labor, right? And the fact of the matter is the trades are in a crisis right now. Genuinely, this isn't just Rob ranting about this. There's a crisis in the supply of labor for the trades. So I would just say the first thing I would look at is, do I like the idea of working with my hands or being in a business that has people that work with their hands? Just being in the trades doesn't mean you actually go do the trade. That's where the most money is. But there's also, you can be in the marketing team, you can be in the management team, you can be all sorts of different things in those businesses. But if you understand the trade itself, there's so much opportunity. Shoot, if you learn how to do copywriting for electricians, and all you did is help make high-ranking SEO articles for electricians, you would just rake in the cash. But that's the first thing. Look at supply and demand. There's a lot of people with their Bachelor of Arts degree, a lot of people with these silly gender studies degrees and these ridiculous, just meaningless, even a marketing degree. I talk to marketing students, I'm like, what the heck did you learn? Like, you don't know how to do anything, and you can't even write well. Anyways, that's me being cynical. That's the first question. Do I want to be in the pool where demand is high for my labor, or do I want to be in a crowded pool? The second thing is, let's talk about the opportunity costs, okay? If you go to college let's just say you go to an average state school college, and all in, you just decide to go to college, you want to focus on your work, and you're not going to get a job. You're going to go stay in the dorms, and you're going to do it for the social scene, right? For 3 years, let's just say that costs $30,000 a year. That's the first thing. You have the cost of tuition, which is very high. And I'm using $30,000 because it could easily be $65,000, $70,000, right? You go to some of these private schools, and I cannot believe how much they are. That's the first thing you've got going, is just how much does tuition cost? But the second thing that most people don't understand, because they're not practical adults yet, and your frontal lobe, if you're a boy, isn't even developed yet, and nobody has come along and told you from K through 12 about opportunity cost. By you not working for 4 years, so you have $30,000 a year, let's just say for 3 years, $30,000 a year, 30, 60, 90, 120 grand in tuition. Or maybe you do it less, maybe it's $15,000 a year, right? So you have between $60,000 and $150,000 in actual tuition costs. And now let's talk about the opportunity costs. Let's just say you don't have $30,000 a year in income. Let's just say you went and serve tables or something, a job that not anybody, but let's just say you go work in a starting job and you're making $30,000 a year, right? That you have to add that onto the cost of tuition because you're not working, and that not working means you don't have money in your pocket now. And now most people, when you're young, you're like me and you're young and dumb and you earn that money, you spend it as fast as you can. What you should be doing is getting in position to do some really cool things, like investing in a duplex so that you can do some house hacking, live in one side of the duplex, rent out the other side. There's a whole slew of things that you can do there. But if you add that up, the cost of tuition plus the cost of not working, and you add that together, you're looking at the cost to go to college for 4 years is, $150,000 to $300,000. Now, how much added opportunity or how much increased revenue are you going to drive into your life, or increased wage are you going to experience by having a college degree? You're going to have $20,000 a year more. Is that what you're going to make? 20 grand more a year, which sounds like a lot. Maybe it's 50 grand more a year. I don't know. The stats that I saw is that it's more of like these $10,000 to $20,000 a year increases. Now, on the back end of your life, usually college education matters less, and experience starts to matter more, and your ability to manage and lead other people and multiply your talents is what will attract a higher wage. But how long does it take for you to make up $240,000 in missed opportunity cost plus tuition costs? The fact of the matter is that if it's 20 grand, this is going to take 10 years before your college education pays off. Now, maybe you'll get in a job where you have all sorts of upward momentum, and I think that's true for a ton of people. But this is point number 2. Point number 1 was, where is the most demand right now? And I'm telling you guys, did you know that you can go run heavy machinery, you can go work in a construction trades, and there's guys making, $30 to $100 an hour easily, like all over the place, and not just seasonally. Like they can be doing it year round. And there's so much opportunity, besides the fact that you could go work in a job for 5 years, learn the trade, learn the business, and then start your own company, or do it as a side gig or as a self-employed thing and make gobs of money. That's where I love to help people do that. So there's another way. So the first thing is just the supply and demand of the actual labor. The second thing is the opportunity cost. The third thing is you just have to ask yourself, what are you actually getting? My parents are baby boomers, and when they grew up, and my dad went to college, and then he got hired at Ziegler, the cat dealer here in Minneapolis. And when he went to college, you couldn't come on board and actually get a job until you had a college degree, right? And I think there's a lot of places like that. I think what he learned in college, though, is he did drafting, he did very practical like construction engineering, and he learned actual practical skills that paid off in his industry. If you're going to go to school, don't go take classes that are remarkably nonsense. You have to buckle down and go in and actually attack it. And the thing that you have to do is, when you're doing that, you almost can't be there for the social scene then. Or if you are there for the social scene, you need to be there to professionally network, okay? One of the things that you'll see when you're in college, if you go and surround yourself with the most successful people you can find at that college, that'll pay off. But if you're going to go be a dummy, like I was for a portion of my life, if you're going to go out and just drink and party and get wild and hang around fools and hang around the people that are not doing well and they're just barely eking by, you probably need to ask yourself, is this a wise decision to be doing? Because here's what I know. All you have to do is search out the arguments people are making for Joe Biden to pay for college for everybody, to start to realize how much of a burden this college debt is going to be. It's like a stinky onion necklace that's hanging around you, dragging you around your whole life, right? And unless you attack it, you don't understand how hard it's going to be to pay off $150,000 or $90,000 or $30,000 in debt when you have this missed opportunity cost. Your goal should be to pay for college all the way through as much as you can. But here's the problem. I didn't do that. I went and worked and screwed around. I didn't have the discipline to do that. So again, if you're going to go to college, make sure you're at a place that you should be going to college. Maybe what you need to do is you need to go and work for a little bit and not jump into college right away. Maybe you need to go get some harder jobs and get some job experience and then go to school. And when you go to school, maybe you need to do it at just the bare minimum university that is accredited so that you can get into those jobs. Maybe you need to do night classes while you work full time. I think the fact of the matter is that it's fair to assume when you go to your traditional college now, it's a little rich. And that unless you're buckled down to professionally network, and if you're dialed in, which I think 40% of the people that are thinking about college are probably dialed in and ready to pursue excellence in college. But the rest of us, that wasn't for me right away. I don't know that you should jump into it right away. So anyways, I hope this is helpful. If you're not ready to be disciplined, to do your laundry, to do your homework, to cook food, be on time, be on schedule, to professionally network, and if you're not ready to endure the opportunity cost plus the tuition costs, boy, I don't know if it makes sense to go to college right away. I think if I were looking at this, I would either get a job in the trades and go to night school, right? Go do online classes. And even there, I would find the cheapest option to do it so that I have the bare minimum, because what you're really getting is they're going to set out a program in front of you where you have to read, synthesize, write, answer problems. And if you have biology, you go into the sciences, you're going to have to produce work, get your answers correct, and understand how to think. That's what's valuable. And unless you're going to go to a prestigious school to pursue a prestigious degree, which there is that. I don't know anything about that. I'm out here in Nobodyville, right? I'm in Minneapolis. If you want to go to Purdue, you want to go to an Ivy League school, you don't need this conversation. You're already good. If your grades are good, man, just go do it. But if you're like so many of us where you didn't love school and all you want to do is have a great career, you want to have a meaningful career that you love, that makes good money when you get out, either get yourself in position to be ready to go to school or check out the trades. Call the union, get training, get an apprenticeship. And I think you'll be on a track to make more money than what you really thought. So good luck. God bless. There's some rambling for you.